Restored.
And hello, I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm without Stefan Rowe, also known as Dank, today. This is just news to me. Just before coming on, I saw that he sent me a message. He is not feeling well. So Tank will not be on with us. This is episode number 118. And so, but we will continue. And we will. We made it 117 days in a row without missing a beat. But we're okay. I sent the link to Tui. Tui's welcome to come on, and we'll talk about what's going on in Fiji, and otherwise we can talk about what we started this with. The beginning of this was GCR, the big lie. Is it going to happen today? Is it going to happen today? No. It was intended to happen because of an elaborate plan to give the assets of the back to the world. But the reality is that they had ulterior motives in this. Even though everyone that I was dealing with was a good guy, they were white hats. All the white hats were happy to move forward with the GCR because they trusted the people that they're dealing with were also white hats. But behind the scenes, the way it was set up for nefarious purposes. So what I'm going to do is go over one of our favorite reviews of the GCR. That's Restored Republic via the GCR. So let me go ahead and share my screen. So this is as of June 27th, 2019.
Republic via GCR update as of June 27th, 2019.
Speed it up a little bit.
Below is a summary of information from the internet. It would be up to the individual reader to do their own, obtain an appointment at an official redemption center run by HSBC, a protocol that applied worldwide to all nations, redemption centers, currency holders and ZIM redeemers. As it had since October 2018, the stock market continued to dump during a soft martial law that appeared headed toward an internet outage. The temporary takedown of social media with support continued, very secret mass arrests while Trump drained the Washington, D.C. swamp. This Friday, Sat. June the 28th to the 29th, during the G20 meetings, the IMF was expected to announce the new quantum financial system, world gold asset-backed currencies and GSARA freedom from debt law that would apply to all nations. The US was in a 7-day countdown to July 4th announcements of the new gold asset-backed US Treasury note and GSARA law, US version of GSARA approved by the US Supreme Court and signed under gunpoint into law by Bill Clinton in 2001, although has not been implemented by any president since until President Trump.
Now, just to point out, now when the NASARA was put into place, I actually was aware of it at that time. When it actually happened, the people that I was dealing with had connections in with the group, and this had to do with the general that was spearheading the effort, pushed it through the court system, pushed it to the Supreme Court to get a ruling based upon the banks. Number one, they were stealing land from the farmers. That's how this all started. They were setting up, they were not applying principal payments. They were doing all sorts of shenanigans to make things turn out bad for the farmers, and they literally were stealing the land. So it actually went down when they dug down deep. It actually got to prove that they were not lending any money because they didn't have any money to lend. But these were debt instruments, and that there was no money being lent, and thus they didn't owe anything. So it was pushed up to the Supreme Court, where it was ruled that their restitution had to be made, but it wasn't just for the farmers anymore. That is how it did start, is with the farmers. But when they pushed it all the way to the Supreme Court, and they got it to where they were talking about literally the system itself being fraudulent, and they were to reset it and change it, another global currency reset. But it did not proceed, and we won't go into all of that. But this was part of the GCR back then, right? All right, let's continue.
Warning. The global currency reset meant that the people were taking control of their global monetary system and away from the cabal, which has been actively putting out deceitful and bogus information, including that some have been paid which they have not and how to redeem and exchange. Cabal's strategy was designed to discourage ZIM and currency holders and all land your ZIM and currency in their hands. Use discernment in what was being published and what you were being told by certain group leaders or gurus. Some of their information could unknowingly have cabal connections. A. June 26, 2019 Whiskey Wisdom with Marks. www.twitch.tv 1. Today, June 26th, they jumped the gun and started exchanging in Hong Kong and Brazil. 2. Rumor was that.
So they jumped the gun and started trading in Hong Kong and Brazil. So they started again. They started again. Why hasn't it happened? They've been starting for years, and it hasn't ever happened. How long does anyone want to keep this up? They are not going to be able to do it because they don't have the asset anymore. Now, they thought they were going to be able to wrangle it away, but they were never able to. I also see that Tui has jumped on the line. Tui, you want to jump on now? I'm just, going over Restored Republic via the GCR because this is how we started. And since Tank is not making it today, I thought we would cover at least how we started, and hopefully we get an update from Fiji. So how did it go?
Hi, Tank.
No Tank.
Oh, hi, Tank. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Right now, we went down and try and meet up with our PM today. Um Unfortunately, they've left. He left early in the morning when it's still dark, about 4 o'clock, down to the western side, and I think they've flown, and he has traveled somewhere. And so,
So they got him out
uh,
of the country quick.
yeah, but
This is
we
the hard
managed.
thing, right? Because if they know that something is coming like this, they're going to want to stop him. So
Yeah, the
I will look at the conspiracy behind it at this point because
yeah, well, it might just be coincidence, but I'm happy with what we've done.
okay,
We've met after we missed it. We've let his permanent assistant or a personal assistant know that we'll be looking forward to meeting him as soon as he gets back, and we'll try and now we'll try and meet our attorney general, who is also the minister of economy, who is also our minister of finance, and so we'll do that next. And we've met today. We managed to meet our former Reserve Bank governor. So so much alignment that, like I said, there's a lot of alignment that will be needed in order for these things to run or to work itself out and to run smoothly. And there's a lot of programming that's been done in the years. So I managed to talk with our governor, and he was so surprised with all the information that comes his way. I know at the beginning of a conversation, he was so shocked because he couldn't even, he's never come across the trust, or he's never come across how the system works. And I said, yeah, I'm not surprised. Everyone is the same. Everyone that works in this high level organization don't understand. Don't even know the trust exists. So I said, first time for everything, and I'm just thankful that he sat down and he listened, and
who,
we
who was
asked
it?
him.
Who was it? Who was it? It was the governor of the central bank.
Yeah, he was our former governor who was there.
Former.
Yeah, who was there 2 years ago, but they removed him and they put strategically put someone else there. Yeah, and so we are working with our intelligence, the military intelligence right now. Some information has been sent by Tank. We just want to authenticate and make them know what the trust is and how this, because it's a lesson, a learning lesson, a learning, it's a learning curve for them because they've never come across the information. Everyone that you've been meeting, those are thousands of people, they understand, and they are just waiting for an evidence of what they've learned and all this. But there are some people that used to work in government and used to have all this experience. He has so much experience because he was working for the IMF as well. I think he was working for the World Bank too, and he was our former governor for our Federal Reserve. And he said, that's really new to me. When I was there, this was not the way it was done. The SWIFT system was, it's a money transfer system that, then we form up all these organizations to try and, just for security purposes and all that. So I said, yes, they just like what the PM said, they need evidence. And I said, the evidence is that you allow us to prove it to you, and you allow us to access it, and we'll be able to prove it to you. But if they don't allow me to do it, we'll just go on with our project with
So
what.
let me ask you, Tui, did you ask? Did you tell him or ask him if he knew of the name that the trust went by for the banking system was the unknown country?
I asked him, but like I said, he didn't know. He didn't know where the money was coming from and how money was. All he knows that that it's the secret. Everybody is involving with how money circulates in the different countries and within the banking system, and how it works and the protocol that they follow and all this. That's what he understands and knows, but he doesn't know beyond the level of the World Bank and the
But it's-
IMF, the
but
United Nations.
isn't that amazing in itself? Is that someone who is the governor of the central bank of a country doesn't know where the money comes from?
Yes, and that's
I mean,
that's
they
why.
keep it. They want to keep all of that information out of the hands of people, so that no one will know to ask, right? And then if you
Yes.
were at such a high level, everyone assumes you know, and if you don't know, you're just gonna pretend that you know, and then or you won't want to expose that you don't know. But this time though, when there's no money, people will now get to ask the question:
Yeah, that's
why is there no money?
yes. That's I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this lesson that we are learning live right now. Not just individually, but especially here in Fiji. As a nation, all these people, they've been blaming the local economy for this problem that we be facing, the liquidity problems and all this. But the Minister of Economy knows that it's not a local problem. It's coming from outside, but they don't understand. They do not know how and why, or why it's happening and how it's happening. And so the only thing is just the information that has to reach them in a way that they can be able to learn and process while learning. And that's the not the challenge, but it's the beautiful lesson that we're learning right now. Because I want to accelerate this so that we can start moving the funds and we can start clearing out all the especially the footprints of all the old system that was here before. We want to clean the footprints and we start anew, and that has to be done through the awareness within the people. That's from the leaders, and then comes down to the rest of the government, which is the people. So I sat with the chiefs, and they said, we are very lucky that we've gone through the awareness first, the awareness of the spiritual energy, which is the fifth element, understanding who they are, understand the physical body, how it works, and understanding how they value and create value within themselves. And then, there's one question that our governor asked me: where does the money come from? I said, and I told him, it comes from you, comes from the spiritual essence within you. And he said, no, 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 no. And I didn't want to laugh because normally I would just laugh about it. But he was dead serious about about the information that was coming to him. He was trying to want to it's a good thing, when you try to authenticate or try to figure out if it's true, if it's if it's just hearsay, or if it's just lies, and you are this someone else is tricking you into believing something that's not real. Or so we had that period, and then after a few minutes that we talk, I spoke in because we use Fijian in the Fijian language. I was able to calm him down and make him understand that all the information that's coming from me, they're just information. You don't have to value and get angry or when you don't understand it. No, these are just awareness. That's a problem with a lot of people. They think that whatever they learn and whatever they see is so real, and they try to value it, and then they destroy themselves or they harm themselves by doing this. They harm their physical body, their mind, and they get angry out of nothing just by hearing, and valuing something that they hear. So I told the chiefs, yeah, that's what we're going to be learning when people are not sovereign, because everything outside of them is sovereign, and people are sovereign. They will never get angry, or they will never, they will never, burst out in anger or in all that, because all this information doesn't hurt them. Even like you said yesterday, it doesn't even hurt to go there to try and prove, to try and open up. You're telling the prime minister, just give it a chance. I know that in the past they've been having a lot of people coming in, like having the same kind of information, promising money and promising funds that comes from the bank and all this, but they all didn't come true. why this is any different. And I'm thankful that it's happening that way, because once this lesson is learned, it's gonna be it's how everything it's how wisdom is created, when you have a lot of problems getting stuck, and then you balance it out by by satisfying the awareness and the perception, because that's what truly is. This is just it's not a problem. Economy is not a problem. Money is not a problem. It's all an illusion. But people can't see that, because they think their lives depends on it. They think the economy depends on it, and so
Well,
we
it's
have to
hard.
know
If they have to go out and buy food and they don't have money, then it's hard for them to get food. It's hard for them to see that it's an illusion.
yeah.
Yeah. They're caught up in like, oh, I'm hungry, and how am I going to eat? So they don't have enough brain power left
Yeah.
because they're hungry, right?
Yeah, that's what even here in Fiji, like I said, I told him, I'm not doing this for anything, I can live with the farm without money. I can just plant all the food and I enjoy my life, and and do all these things that we can do without money. But the problem is you people in the city, because you depend on it and you rely on it so badly. Because if this thing crash, if our economy crash, as gang on the villages, we are not going to be suffering like you guys. You will be suffering because you can't do anything. You can't move anywhere. You can't eat, and and that's why the trust tries to keep the American economy afloat. So they fund, because they don't want to reach that stage. Because people, there's still so many people still has still deep inside the sea. And I told the governor about the law of the sea and the law of the land, and he doesn't even know what it is. And I said, "Yep, that's good." And I just look at all the chiefs and I just smile, because he was angry. What is this law of the sea? And what is this law of the land? I said, "You run you governor of the." I mean, I was just thinking to myself, he's the governor of our central bank, and he doesn't even know. I just come to understand that they live they're so separated from in
Well,
the separated.
let's put it this way: if he actually knew what this was and how it worked, they wouldn't have put him in position. They wouldn't have given him that position. They don't want
Yeah.
people to know. They don't want people to know how it works, right? Because then people will ask questions like, "Where's the money?"
Yeah. Now it's gonna now it's gonna happen anyways, because there's no money, and so people it's time to burst some bubbles.
Yeah.
you know uh, yeah, some I told them, well, if this is the first time, I told him, if this is the first time you hear this, and I'm thankful that you allowed us to talk about it, because it will make sense to you in the future, not in the few days, but in the future. So all we have to do is physically prove it, and do the physical due diligence, and try to get the awareness out in a physical way, not just talking and theorizing and waiting. But I have to do this because just a few days ago I've realized that Fiji is running out of time. We are running out of time. And so that's why I'm pushing. I'm Before I was just taking it easy, relaxing, just teaching people. But now we have to use a little bit of energy, because the the people in government, they are so lost. They don't even know that they are lost. And so we are. I told the chief, we have to expect it, because these people are lost. We'll be busting we'll be touching some people's face. We'll be pushing some people on the head and pushing some people like this on the. But it's the way we have to wake them up. So it's just it's our role now. We're no longer waiting. We're no longer in a just passive, but we'll be active now. And so this is just to help out the trust, to be able to authenticate the trust, and have recognize the sovereignty of the trust. So that's the problem right now. That's not the problem, but it's just the way lesson has to be learned. The creation of a new creation has to be done out of the exchange of each other's recognition of sovereignty, and that's what we are doing right now with the trust. So this is how we are exchanging our sovereignty. with the trust. We wanna, we wanna tell everyone about it, and once this is come true, once they find the money, once they when physically balance, the trust will be valued, and Kim will be valued as what he says, because that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna tell the whole world and tell every parliamentarian on the planet about the truth about how everything works, because then they will see it, because it's time. The fifth dimensional way of thinking is already been awoken, so it cannot be what for example the chiefs here, what they see as truth, and what they see as how everything really works, how the law of the seas has been instigated and been created and been implemented for all these thousands of years. They can't uh, they can't forget that anymore. Or they can't go backwards in awareness. It's now. I told them, you guys are right in the future. The only thing we have to try and go back, turn back, and help our brothers and our sisters that haven't seen what you've seen yet. So that's a great challenge, not just a challenge, but a lesson that we'll be learning out of the love that we've actually found, which is the sovereignty within everyone. So we've learned so much today, so much alignment as well. Soon now, Tank has sent me a letter, an authentication letter that he got from Kim for the Create Change project, and that they've actually, the authentication that comes from the trust. So there are sufficient information there to be approved, or to be given to our Reserve Bank or to our central bank, so that they can authenticate the trust, and the address of the trust, and all the information about also Kim and who she is. So we're just doing that to help our country, help each other, and help ourselves to learn to heal ourselves. And so I'm very thankful, thankful to the people that are on the show. I know they've been waiting for the update from Fiji. Now we're gonna be meeting our Attorney General, which is in Fiji. It's like our second most powerful man, apart from our PM. So they're equally almost the same, but different in the way the organization of government in Fiji. So we'll be looking at meeting him very soon. Arrangement has been done. So I need them to understand what the trust is and who the Kim is. And if they try to authenticate it, or they try to find it out, they will have the information to do it. And so if they can use the whatever means they have, and if ultimately we can be able to talk, and they'll learn physically by opening up a terminal, and see that there's no one else that can have access, or they can allocate allocation numbers, but Kim. And what we do right now was supposed to be done by the intelligence, but now we are using our own energy to try and do it, because there's no one else that knows more than than me and the chiefs right now. And so we can rely on the people, because they wouldn't understand the need and the spiritual need that is needed. So that's why we are doing this now. I was waiting. I thought that they would be able to do it, but no, our spiritual energy is needed to have this done. So yeah, that's that's where we are at right now, and I'm very thankful. We've learned a lot of things. We learned so much, and we've met a lot of people today. Sufficient people, sufficient information to move to the next step, until we are able to access that terminal, the terminal, or the Swift to terminal, which is the blue screen, and then we'll be able to try and authenticate it, or find out if it's the truth about Kim, and who she is, and and prove it to the government, and prove it to the whole world as well. So yeah, the good thing, we are working with our military. We're trying to do that. It's just the awareness of people. So many people, these are new information to them. It's quite hard for them to process. Like I said, um, we have to burst some bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very thankful because I'm learning a lot too. I'm learning a lot of as we move along. I'm learning so much, and I'm learning the need and how to manage the information that we have, so that it doesn't overload anyone, in a intellectual kind of way, but help them learn and grow, intellectually, spiritually, and physically as well, and learn to be independent and to be sovereign, and not to be just be swayed about everything that comes on your way, every knowledge that you learn, and just believe anything anyone that might deceive you. So we're in that process right now to try and align Fiji, and I'm thankful for everyone and the support and their thoughts, in their mind. If you are thinking of us or praying for us, I'm very thankful to the energy that you are sharing, and I'm thankful to the intent within you, the love that you express wherever you are on the planet. Thank you so much, for joining the Dank show. Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you to everyone on the live chat and everyone also watching. Maybe in the future, once all this gets aligned, this will become history, and we will be able to learn from Fiji, and we'll be able to try and implement it to the rest of the countries in the world. And so, yeah,
So
we are at the
when is the prime minister coming back?
um, there. We don't have that information now. We don't even know where he's going, or I didn't want to ask the personal assistant, because the first thing I wanted to do was spiritually align the personal assistant, and that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to be talking with him, because he's going to be involved with us he's going to be playing a very major role in reaching the PM and talking with the PM. So it's good too. The PM is gone, and how slow that we can do that, how fast we can do that, because we just realized right now, like I said yesterday, there was still some misalignment and some information that has not gone to the PM yet. And I hope in a few days that will balance out. So wherever he may be, there'll be information coming to him. So yeah, I'm gonna try, and I'm sending all the show that we have been doing for the past few days to the PA. So I want them to watch it, and I want them to see and hear and learn from from Tank, from Dan, from you, and learn what's actually happening. So even though it's gonna be new sets of information, I'm leaving it to the fifth element within them to be able to learn to process it, and we can accelerate this creation that we're trying to create together. So yeah, thank you so much, Dan. No, it's really good.
Thank you.
If you have any other questions, we can be able to
Well,
discuss it.
there's a couple of questions. You kind of answered them. I was looking in the chat room, and they said, has Tui said the words to them, Manna World Holding Trust or Kim Gogoin? Did the former bank governor have any clout with folks in the current government? Those are kind of the questions, that are asked in the chat room.
Oh, the current our current I mean, not
The
the
former
current governor.
governor,
Former
does he have any clout with the current government?
cloud. What is cloud?
Clout is influence.
Oh, influence. Well, for the past few years, the former governor, the man that we met today, he's been involved in politics. So he has his own political party. And so I think that's the. I know he has a lot of influence in the opposition part of the government, but that's where he stays right now, and that's where his service is right now as a political figure, not in parliament yet, but just active politically. The party, the name of this party, the political party, is called Unity Fiji, and so we're doing the same thing. He's trying to unite Fiji as well, and even though this is just a process of that. Fiji uniting and the planet uniting, and the whole planet uniting, and the whole Earth uniting as sovereign. So different roles, different dimensions of what is happening, but everyone trying to do the same thing. Eventually, we'll all come together, and we'll be able to see that we are just part of a big one tree, one family, and we understand. The most important thing, we know that there's a need to be united and to change this planet together. So wherever you are on the planet, however you're going to do that, however we're going to come together, much love and blessing from Fiji. I'm looking forward to all the lessons and everything that we're going to learn together as a whole. Thank you.
Well, thank you too. Well, I guess we can break it up here. It's okay. And I hope that you have success. Yeah.
Yeah, we will. Success is having success is not like for me personally. I don't see anything as a success. I don't value that. Every
No,
lesson
not
that
for
I
you.
learn.
For me, I just for me. I want you to have success.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yes. You were talking about something. You were talking about something before I came on. What was
Well,
that?
it was well, before you came. I was just running again. You know, the GCR is happening. The that I go over that same restored republic via the GCR. And I was just going to run through it, but it's no real need to, because it's exactly the same as it was every time. The GCR has already happened. Oh, they started trading their currencies already in Hong Kong and Brazil, and they haven't, and if they did, it's just for show. It wasn't real. It's just, again, to keep the illusion going, right, so that they can create whatever they're trying to create there. So anyway, that's what I was discussing, because
Okay.
because I just found out about Tank not being able to come on just before the show. So
Okay, so I have a question for you then.
okay.
No, just a question about the authenticity of the trust, and how you came up with finding out that Kim is who he says he is. I know if you discuss that, it will be very informative to everyone that's listening in, and through your connection, through you involving with the cryptocurrency environment, that that you are well, that's your expertise. And if you could just explain how you came about, and how you do that. So yeah, that's the question.
Well, it didn't happen all at once. It was over a period of about a year, maybe less, maybe 8 months or so. I was listening to Thomas speak about what's happening with the trust. As I keep track on other things like the GCR, I'd keep up and say, well, what they're saying now, or I usually would use Restored Republic via the GCR, and I was but when I was listening to Thomas, and Thomas was talking about the trust being able that they had downloaded funds into the U.S. government, that they had done this. And the thing is since I was working with my group that had working on the GCR, we had contacts there, and we would know that money actually ended up coming into the U.S. government. It just happened the timing was about the same. So when you have someone out there claiming that they're sending money from the trust to the U.S. government, and then the U.S. government is receiving funds, and they're now being able to continue, and the whole system didn't collapse because it was about to, just before Trump took office anyway. So the money came in, and so because of that, I was I think by the time it was, I think, October of last year, I started thinking that and making some inquiries with people about Kim, and so being able to ask about the trust and the trustee, and to confirm the name that was on the trust. So this came to me via 3 different sources, 3 different directions.
And you are in the Philippines.
Nothing in the Philippines. No, all 2 in the U.S., 1 in England.
Nice.
Yeah. So so have I looked at the terminal and seen her name? No, but I would love to. I would love to, be there and be in your spot, right? When you're there at the terminal looking, I'd love to see that, but I only had to go with what I was relying on the people who had access, whether it was Secret Service, Treasury, or the Bank of England. So if there is any way for me to prove it up further, I'd love to see it. Right? I'd love, but at this time though, it also it fits in with everything else that was going along, and I kind of go by the spirit, and I took the path that seemed like that was what was real. This is what was felt like this was the right thing. And I'm here on the 118th episode in a row talking about it, and it was only supposed to be for 2 weeks just to kind of get the word out there about the GCR, and then you showed up on the third one, so everything just keeps building.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much, Dan.
Yeah.
This will be
yeah. I wish I could be there when you go in and verify it. So that would have been fantastic, especially since you can't take any video now. I kind of knew that they were gonna say, "Oh no, you can't show any video." Same thing with all of the big caches of gold that are buried in bunkers and things like that. People claiming that they're sitting on these large caches, and I say, "Oh, great! Come on, take me. I want to see it." Right? And I said, "Oh no, I can't see it." I said, "Well, why not?" I said, "Yeah, oh, no one can see it." I said, "Well, then how does everyone know it's there?" Right. So anyway, I said, all I want to do is I don't want to take anything away from it. You can blindfold me, you can, drug me, knock me out. But when I get there and you reveal everything is there, all I want to do is take video of it, of me sitting on the big pile of gold, right, and holding it and say, hey, look, it's here, right, and then let the video go out into the world.
Yes, indeed.
I don't care about. I mean, it'd be nice to have a gold brick or so, but it doesn't mean anything, right? It's just it's a good conversation piece. There's a gold brick, so they're worth about $40 million anyway. So.
Oh, each brick.
What's that?
$40 million.
Yeah, for a big brick. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think a 12.5 kilo brick. I think it's about 40 million for one.
Ah, I see.
Yeah. So I haven't looked up the price recently. I know the gold price has been going up. Gold and Bitcoin prices, they're soaring. So something is about ready to happen.
Bubble about to pop.
Hey, too. When we get off, I will go. I want to give you a call and talk to you a little bit. So be available. Don't run off and get out of range.
Oh yes, yeah. So
Okay.
maybe I'll just say my goodbyes to everyone. Thank you so much, everyone that's listening in. Thank you for your love, and thank you for your time. Thank you for the energy. Thank you for being with us, in this time, in this new creation that we're going to be doing together. I'm looking forward to meeting everyone soon, as soon as we set this straight, and try and get my country and this beloved country, Fiji, try and set up and get the connection to the trust and the sovereignty and all this to get alignment. So I know we're trying to do good things. That's why it's been it's going to be hard to do good things. So as soon as we get it done, the lesson that we learn from it, we'll be able to teach everyone on the planet. So if you come to Fiji, if you're here in Fiji, that means we've gone through this, and you will be learning from you, and you'll be learning from us. And there's a lot of growth in spiritual growth, mental growth, and physically, and through the intellect that we're gonna be doing together. So, like I said, the chiefs, this is the most important thing for every sovereign people of the planet to meet each other and to recognize each other as true sovereign of this planet. And so that's what we're going to be doing, not just individually here in Fiji, but our country in itself, and then everyone around the world to meet us. So thank you so much, Dan, for your time and all this that you've done. Thank you so much for all the shows that you've been doing. Thank you, Dank. Looking forward to the next talk with Dank, and because I would be there'll be a few more discussion and a few more questions, maybe tomorrow or maybe on Sunday. We'll have to discuss with Tank on some clarification on how we can move forward together and take steps that is not just lessons that the governments will be learning, but also everyone around the planet will be learning. So
Yeah.
thank you so much, everyone. Much love and blessing from Fiji. Please do take it easy, and see you next time.
Take it easy from Philippines.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.